You won't none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ the Tar Heel. And in this episode, of course, we got Coach Hubert Davis's post-Wake Forest presser. And so I like to do this after some of the games. We'll see what Coach Hubert Davis has to say about Carolina's 85-64 victory over the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. And I'll give you some of my thoughts on it myself. So without further ado, Coach Hubert Davis.
Was this a situation where you simply sensed that you guys needed him to go to that level? Especially in the first half when he started getting going with the drives?
Well, we need that from RJ every game, and you're right, he's been that.
Put the team on his back, man.
He plays that way in preparation for a game. His just ability for a number of things, but specifically his scoring. He could score with the ball in his hands, off the ball. His ability to be able to finish at the rim. The way that Wake was playing us defensively, he was able to get to that mid-range, that floater. That's a shot that he's worked on a lot throughout his career. Feels really comfortable when he was able to hit that. And then that set up, his ability to be able to shoot the ball from three. And he was in a great rhythm tonight. He's been in a great rhythm all season. It's the first time as a player and as a coach that I can remember the Smith Center crowd chanting a player's name. And
Chanting RJ Davis's name. And here's the deal, man. I had said something about it earlier in the live stream. RJ looked a little off. He shot a couple of threes. He missed his first couple of shots and everything. And I was kind of worried for a second. I was like, oh, man. There was like a lid on the basket. RJ had missed his first, I think, 2 or 3 three-point attempts. And he even missed a 15-footer, which the dude's like almost stinking automatic from 15 feet. I think he's got the best mid-range jumper in the country. And I thought RJ was a little bit off. But he ended up getting to the bucket, man, and finding his rhythm. And, it's kind of like I alluded to. Sometimes when your shot's not falling, what you got to do is you got to get to the rack and you got to see the ball go into the basket. Sometimes that's like a layup off of a clear out. Sometimes that's you just hitting a runner in the lane. And like Coach Davis was talking about, man, RJ has really worked on that stinking little teardrop, dude, that runner in the lane. And after he knocked down a couple of those, it seemed like he started to get into a rhythm, and then his stroke started coming through to where he was started knocking down a lot more, deeper shots, especially in that last part of the second half where he was banging threes, man. So sometimes you just got to see the ball go into the net. And once that happens, bro, a scorer like RJ Davis, oh, yeah, it's on. It's on and popping.
I'm just really proud of him. I think, he's had a terrific career, but I feel like this year he's finally getting noticed. And I'm just really happy for him.
He's the dude, man.
Describe this team's ability to string together runs.
Well, I think, I challenged them at halftime. I felt like we were getting good shots in the first half. In the second half, I felt like defensively we were making mistakes that allowed Wake Forest to be able to score. And I challenged them at halftime to, step it up defensively, and they did. I think it was at 26% in the second half.
Hey.
Because of the defense, because rebounding, I think this was a nice straight game that we got rebounding opponent. It allows us to get out in transition, and we're just really good in transition.
We're really good in transition, and I talked about that. Carolina needed to get out and running, even though Wake Forest likes to get out and run as well. That's one thing special about this team. Coach Hubert Davis, they go into the break, they're down 1. He says, hey, listen, this is what you need to do, man. We've got to defend better so that we can create opportunities to get out and run. And we saw Carolina do that. They scored 52 points in the second half. 52 points, man. It's big time. That is listening to your stinking ball coach tell you what you need to do to be successful and win, and then going out there and stinking making it happen, man. So once again, Coach Hubert Davis is the ACC Coach of the Year. No doubt about it, man. And I think that he should definitely be up there in National Coach of the Year. And I think RJ Davis is right there in both categories as a player, man. It's been amazing to watch.
All 5 guys are running. We pitch the ball ahead. We've got great spacing so we can get to the basket. We can spray threes. We can hit our bigs in the middle of the post. And once we started running, that got us going. But it all started on the defensive end.
Seth's defense on Salas in the first half, it felt like he kind of stopped him from scoring pretty much. I mean, how good is he in your opinion?
Well, I mean, Seth is our best and most gifted
On the ball defender. Yep, no doubt, bro.
His athleticism, his strength. He can pick up full court, make it hard for you to get across half court. And he can play on the ball.
That's a great point. Seth's defense against Salas was a big time.
He can score, he can distribute, but his defense is something that is needed every game. And against those guards, not just Hunter, but the other guards, Seth was on everybody. And I wish I could split them in half and spread them around because he just has that ability to be able, even if someone scores, make them work hard to even get a shot.
Hey, it's true, man. Seth is the dude.
Especially as it feels like he's a lot more assertive scoring basketball.
Hey, he had 0 points in this game. Seth Trimble had 0 points. But his ability to affect Salas, to kind of keep Hunter a little bit tamed was huge. I mean, that's huge, man. And once again, what a team player. 0 points in the box score. But what, you'll never be able to see in the box score 20 years from now is Seth Trimble's defense against Hunter Salas.
Yeah, he is. One of the things that he's worked on a lot, 2 areas. One, defensively, I feel like he gets better and improves every day of practice and every day in the game in terms of the importance of playing defense before you play defense. At this level, you just can't play defense as soon as your man gets the ball. It's something is coming, so you have to be in the stands and ready to go. And I feel like Elliott continues just to get better and better at that every day. And then on the offensive end, he's learning how to pick his spots in terms of, on ball screens. A lot of times these teams are trying to go under because of his ability to be able to get to the rim and score and be able to distribute.
That's how I would defend him.
Just his angles and change of pace is really allowing him to get to the basket, and it's really opening things up for him on the offensive end, and that's good news for
Getting
us.
to the stinking bucket, man.
How would you assess how you guys handled the short turnaround from Saturday? It's a one-day prep, and the way you went through that, and also were able to turn things around tonight, when you're trailing at the half. Are these sort of the signs of a team that's got a lot of good things going for it?
Well, I mean, one of the things that I told him yesterday is that we played 3 games in 2.5 days in the Bahamas, so actually we did an extra day of preparation.
Okay.
That's what I told him. It's the truth. And so, this is the schedule. It is what it is. And our job is to prepare and practice and play as hard as we can. And so it is tough playing an away game on Saturday and get back at 10. And today we had shoot around in the morning. Then they had to go to class all this afternoon. And then we had pregame meal. And then we have a game. But that's your job and responsibility. And I was really proud of how they showed up and how they competed tonight.
I love it, Coach.
Going back to RJ a little bit, you mentioned when obviously the crowd was chanting his name, and as he was checking out, it looked like you were able to, you and him kind of share the hug. Can you kind of take us through that moment a little bit, what that was like kind of for you? And
Good for RJ, man.
Well, I just was telling him I'm really proud of him. I've known RJ for 6 years. I saw him, when he was in high school. First time that I saw him at AAU, and I went to Coach Williams, and I was like, this guy might be pretty good. I think we need to take a look at him. So I've known RJ for 6 years, and there's a relationship there for a long time. It's nothing about basketball, and I know him and his family, and that's what makes everybody but coaching fun when you have those relationships for a long time. You see the growth, not only on the court, but off the court. And it just brings a lot of joy to a coach to have a front row seat to be able to see that. It is nothing better to watch the players. You see all the hard work and the effort and the preparation, and to see it come out in a game. It's the feeling of, seeing your kids do something and do something well and have a smile on their face. And it's just a really nice moment.
Take a couple more, please. Staying on RJ.
It's a 9-game win streak. You guys won all these games by double digits, and I know you mentioned that for the Boston College game that you out-rebounded your opponents in all of these games, and you did that tonight as well.
Plus 13, 43-30 against Wake Forest.
For success during the streak that you guys have going right now, or is it something else?
No, I do. I think it's three things. One, a huge part is rebounding. Another part is our commitment to the defensive end. As I said before, they shot 26% in the second half. And that was something that was required and needed for us to play against a really good Wake Forest team. And then also taking care of the basketball. Just feel like, if you
Wasn't a lot of turnovers today for Heels, for the Heels.
Whoever we play, that puts us in a position to be successful. So those are three things that we're looking at every day. Defend, rebound, take care of the basketball.
Hang on, somebody was asking a question before that, and then Pat. Who's that? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Harrison Ingram and his impact on the rebounding.
10 and 14, bro. You talk about a stinking rebound machine.
Just his impact on that.
Yeah, I mean, so many times I say it's not an Armando Bacot rebounding game, it's a UNC rebounding game to try to get everybody else to rebound and not just sit back and go, Armando's going to get it. And Harrison, he's just been terrific.
Yeah, he has, bro. He really has, dude. His offensive numbers have gone down just a little bit, dude, but he has made up for it on the defensive end, dude.
But, just he checks so many boxes for us. It's not just rebounding, scoring, posting up, passing.
Deadly, bro. Back to the basket. Might as well not even guard him anymore.
Just walks in the locker room and just start smiling. And him being in this program and on this team has been such a blessing for all of us.
Last two quick ones, Pat and Andrew.
The game at Wake Forest around this time last year was maybe an example of when the team didn't respond. And playing Wake tonight and seeing the way that this team has really at every corner, did that make you appreciate it, that joy even more?
Well, I think this team is, I tell them that you have control over two things, how you react and how you respond. I feel like all year, in some form or fashion, I feel like our guys have reacted and responded. And as I tell them before, there's going to be sunny days.
Great response this year.
Windy days.
Last year, Carolina, unfortunately, it's sad to say, man, but the simple fact of the matter is there were times where they faltered. That has not been the case. Even in the losses this year, that has not been the case with this stinking Carolina team, bro. They have always fought to the stinking end. And it has been, it's just been night and day from last year. The reaction and response to adversity and perseverance from this basketball team has truly been something just great to see, man.
And so when those days come, what is going to be our reaction and what is going to be our response? And I feel like we've responded the entire season.
Well, RJ said he knew when he was at 30, he was at his career high, and Elliott said he knew it as well, and he told RJ.
I didn't know it.
I was going to ask you, is there at any point maybe where you might know something like that late in the game, especially with the margin the way it was?
I didn't know that. Maybe I should. I just didn't know that.
Do you think it's healthy when a guy like Elliott tells RJ, you got to go you got to score again, you got to get this record?
That's amazing. That is a great example of just the type of relationships that this team has.
Yeah. Play together, bro.
I've said this before, and there's been very few teams that I've been on, and as a player and as a coach, where players are thinking about their teammates that they are celebrating.
That's why this team is thinking special.
Even more so than their baskets or their assists, their stats. That's one example of many that the conversations and the actions that our guys have done this year. And I think it's one of the things that has allowed us to continue to improve.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Coach Hubert Davis, post Wake Forest presser, man. And, you know, he ends it by talking about how this North Carolina Tar Heel team plays for each other. And it's more about the team than some individual guy, you know, just stuffing the stinking stat box. But at the same time, you got a little lead. You know RJ's at 30. You know that he needs to score again for a career high. And then you kind of go over there and whisper at him, hey, bro, just so you know, you're at your career high, bro. You got to stinking shoot, man. I want you to get this thing. I'm rooting for you. You know, that's stinking cool, man. That is stinking cool. We've seen it with Armando with the double-doubles, you know, rebounds, points, things like that. You know, you see it with RJ. You see the stinking Dean Dome rocking and chanting his name. What a great game for RJ Davis. And a lot of things have changed. One of them is his ability to come off the ball because he's no longer the only point guard on the team, if you will. You know, EC can come in. He's the primary point guard, and he can help facilitate. And you see the difference that it has made with RJ Davis, man. And, you know, once again, just Coach talking about how this team plays together and they root for one another as opposed to let me get mine. So you heard it from Coach, man. That's pretty special, and that's what makes this team different, especially than a lot of other North Carolina teams that have been really good. You know, some of them have been good because of athleticism, just ridiculously good players, just all across the stinking roster. You know, do we have, you know, that sort of team necessarily? But what we do have is a bunch of kids that are playing hard for each other and their stinking coach, man. And that is a recipe for success 9 times out of 10. So let me know what you think about Coach Hubert Davis's comments post Wake Forest. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Consider becoming a member of the Huddle Hooligans. And I love you guys, man. I appreciate you, Tar Heel Nation. How about them Heels, baby? 21-point victory over the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Let's go, baby.